Hey, this is a recording of Chapter 4. I'm going to go through, translate, and discuss it, point out certain items, and that hopefully this video can help assist you in submitting your own recording of a translation of Chapter 4, also for studying for the multiple choice and the vocabulary quiz. So let's begin. Sextus est puer molestus qui semper Corneliam vexat. Sextus is an annoying boy. Sextus is our subject, what is nominative. Est, remember, is a linking verb, and all linking verbs are equal signs. So therefore, puer is also in the nominative form, and it is our CPN, or complement predicate nominative. An annoying boy, qui, who, always annoys, is annoying, does annoy Cornelia. So this qui is functioning as the subject. It refers to the boy, but the who does the annoying. And please note that Corneliam is in the accusative case. When a word is in the accusative case, it will be the direct object. And so Cornelia is not doing anything, but rather she answers whom or what after the verb and is the receiver of that action of annoying. Cornelia igitur sextum non amat. Therefore, igitur, Cornelia does not like, is not liking, likes not, amat, known, sextus. And again, sextum here is our direct object, as he has the um ending, which for a second declension noun is going to indicate that accusative form. Hodie sub arbore dormit Cornelia. Today, Cornelia sleeps, is sleeping, does sleep under the tree. Dormit is different than the two verbs we've seen, vexat and amat, because dormit is what we call an intransitive verb. Intransitive verbs are those verbs that do not have a direct object. They do not transfer action. And so dormit is not going to be a verb that allows a direct object. Cornelia cannot sleep the tree, cannot sleep the ground, or any other direct object potentially. She can sleep under the tree, she can sleep on the ground, but it does not take a direct object and therefore is intransitive. Sextus puellam conspicit. Sextus, catches sight of or spots, is spotting, does spot the girl, puellam, accusative, direct object, et furtum appropinquat. And sneakily or stealthily, an adverb, she approaches, or he actually, sextus, he approaches, he is approaching, he does approach. Appropinquat is actually an intransitive verb because we do not really approach the tree. You really is going to be that he approaches towards the tree. And so it is going to be a verb that does not transfer action. Arborem ascendit et subito magna voce clamat. Arborum is the first word, but we would not translate it first simply because it is not the subject. We need to find the subject, and there's no word in the sentence that is in nominative, so you can always find the subject in the verb itself with that ending T. That's why I say rule number 1, find the subject. If there's not a nominative to find. Rule number 2, find the verb. So he climbs, is climbing, does climb the arboreum, the tree, et subito, and suddenly he shouts, is shouting, does shout, magna voce, with a loud voice, in a loud voice. This form, we have not learned what it's called yet, but it requires the translation of by, with, because of, from, in, on, at. Woke him, Cornelia audit. Cornelia hears, does hear, is hearing the voice. Again, woke him was the first word, but it has that accusative ending, em, for the third declension variety, which is what the noun voice is. So you go to your subject. Cornelia hears the voice, said sextum non videt, but, and you don't say Sextus does not see, because Sextus isn't doing anything. He is the accusative direct object. It's still Cornelia. Cornelia audit. Cornelia hears, said non videt, but Cornelia does not see Sextus. So vocem is functioning as the direct object of audit, and sextum is the direct object of videt. Magna vox, that's our nominative, the loud voice terrifies, scares, terret Cornelia, and Corneliam our accusative, solicita est. It would be, of course, she is anxious. She is worried because it's solicita. If it were solicitus est, it would have to be then the translation of the T on est as he, but it's an A, so we know it's feminine. Tum Marcus ad arborum currit. Then Marcus runs, is running, does run, towards the tree, ad arborem. Here you can see that sometimes an accusative form can be the object of a preposition instead of the direct object of the verb, and that's what's going on here. Marcus puerum molestum conspicit. Marcus catches sight of or spots the annoying boy, puerum molestum, in the accusative direct object of the verb conspicit, and he shouts, descende sexte, climb down sextus. And sextus, of course, we have changed the form of it from sextus to sexte, because when a noun ends with us and you are talking directly to that noun, you'd change the us out for an e. Sextus clamat. Sextus shouts, is shouting, does shout. Marcus, again, talking directly to him, so marque. Cur tu non arborum ascendis? Why do you not climb? Why are you not climbing the tree? Now, arborum is, of course, the direct object of ascendis, but notice about ascendis, we see now a new ending for a new subject. It doesn't have a T, it doesn't have an NT, it has an S. Whenever the ending on the verb is an S, it indicates the subject you, which means that this word here, to, is actually a little bit redundant. We don't need it. The only reason why it's there is so that we can obviously emphasize, why do you not climb the tree? You could easily take it out and it would still say the same thing. Why do you not climb the tree? And so therefore, when it is here, it is merely emphasizing really strongly the subject, in this instance, to you as the subject. Nihil me terret. Nothing terrifies me. Nothing scares me. Quid te terret. What scares you? What is scaring you? Note here, te, again, is that same word, you. But to was the form when it is you as the subject, nominative, and te is then going to be the form of it when it is the direct object, accusative, and thus that's the difference between to, you, verb, you climb, versus te, something, verbs, you, what scares you. Cave sexte, be careful. Sextus, again, talking directly to him. Marcus shouts. Marcus is shouting. The branches are weak. Rami sunt infermi, a subject, a linking verb, equal sign, and then infermi is, of course, our CPA, our complement predicate adjective. But again, since it's an equal sign, since Rami is plural, nominative, masculine, then infermi has to be plural, nominative, and masculine. Subito Marcus et Cornelia magnum fragorem audient. Suddenly, Marcus and Cornelia are hearing, do hear, audient, a loud crash, a big crash. Now, if I were to go and look at, let's say, Corneliam in the first line with an AM, I know that's feminine because that's first declension. And then if I were to look at sextum in the second line, I know that that is masculine, second declension, In the third line, if you look at wokim, or in arborum, the second word, or the fourth from the last on line 3, those are third declension, and you don't automatically know what the gender is. Arborum could be masculine or feminine, you just don't know. Wokim could be masculine or feminine, you just don't know. But when we go down to line 10, and we see fragorem, it's in the same boat as arborum in line 3 and wokim in line 3. But here we do know the gender of a crash because it's being modified by the word magnum. And when an adjective modifies a noun, it has to have the same number, gender, and then what's called case. When I say nominative, accusative, those are what we call cases. And so case, number, and gender. And since magnum is masculine in its form, it tells us that fragorem must be masculine in its form as well. And so even though it's third declension, you ordinarily wouldn't know because it's being modified by magnum. Now we know that a crash is indeed masculine. Sextus ex arbore cadit. Sextus falls, is falling, does fall, out of the tree, ex arbore. Rident Marcus et Cornelia. Marcus and Cornelia laugh. Sed non ridet Sextus. But Sextus does not laugh. Sextus is not laughing. Sextus laughs, known not. So hopefully you have used this video to great benefit to do well on all of the quizzes, as well as to make your own recording of chapter 4. Thank you so much.